such an honor. It's the second time I have the chance to do an interview with you guys. It means a lot because the band have such an importance in history of metal and music. There's new stuff coming up, and I'm really excited about it. So welcome back to PPR, our Quebec radio show. For people wondering, who are you talking to? Who the hell are you, man?
Bit from SAXON. Good to be there, mate.
It's such an honor. Saxon, you're one of those bands that never stop. You always pushing yourself, releasing new stuff, and it's still accurate after all those years. But before talking about the new stuff, I'm curious about your past. When you were kids, how did you start discovering music, and did anybody around you influence you into that journey?
Yeah, my my older brother's best friend was in played guitar in a rock and roll band. When I mean rock and roll, I mean like Chuck Berry and all that sort of rock and roll. The early rock and roll. Uh, so yeah, he played guitar. So he learnt me a few chords on guitar. So that's when I really first started. And listening to the stuff in the early 60s when I was a teenager, you know, 13, 14 years old. So I mean, that sort of, the Kinks and all that early stuff, a lot of American stuff. So yeah, I was into it all. I mean, we didn't get a lot of it in England because the BBC were quite strict with what people could listen to. So we used to listen to a lot of pirate radio back in the day.
Yeah, it's a thing that young youth don't get, but it's true. There were pirate radio. Like somebody, I'm sure, saw the movie of that boat in the middle of the oceans where they were
Yeah.
into and they were into international waters, so they can like broadcast. And it's amazing. Like times were so different. Like you said, there was no internet to discover, so it was word by word. So it's crazy. And when you think about it, all those bands had success because they were so fucking good that people were talking nonstop about it. And that's how I'm sure you get all those American records or band that were
Yeah,
outside
definitely.
UK.
Yeah, I mean, the BBC, I mean, the government had to grant a license for a radio station. So these radio stations that were in the middle of the sea or, in another country could broadcast into England for free, basically. So that's what happened. And, all the record companies at the time would send all the songs to the pirate radio stations. So, a lot of the early Kinks stuff and Rolling Stone stuff wasn't on BBC Radio. It was on pirate radio.
Yeah, BBC were freaking out. Like, no, man, they will understand that we passed the shit and they passed the good stuff, man.
Well, it was between the church and the government really. That it was subverting the youth. That's what they thought. All this rock and roll and music of the devil and all that sort of thing. Mini skirts and leather boots, and it's just crazy times really. Just the government trying to dictate to teenagers what they should do and what they should wear. So there was a massive revolution. It's called the swinging 60s.
Yeah, and it's so cool that it happened because it changed everything. So, when was the moment when you thought to yourself, I want to be on a stage, I want to try it. I've got some ideas, some songs in my head, and I want to do something too, and embrace that journey of being in a band.
Yeah, I think again it goes back to my brother's friends band. I played bass guitar with them sometimes on stage, and that was my first time I'd ever been on stage. So I sort of got the bug, when I was like, 13, 14, and from there I started playing cover in a covers band, and then started writing my own stuff and getting together with different guys the same age, a drummer, a guitarist, keyboard player. We had all sorts of different bands going at that time, just experimenting and trying to write some songs, make some demo tapes, and send them off to record companies. Really, and that's what we were doing. you know.
And there was nothing at that time. Metal was not a thing. It was the rock and roll. So you arrive with a songs that just a few want to try that path. How exciting was it when you start playing with Saxon and the reaction of people to something kind of new in UK?
Yeah, it was a strange feeling because we went from being virtually unknown to being really well known quite quickly. Actually, in 1979, 1980 was the time that we sort of exploded on the scene. If you know what I mean. Um, so yeah, it was a great time. It was a great time. It was something different to punk music, and it was something different to the older bands, from the 70s and 60s that were still playing. So our music was a little bit more, it was just slightly different, really, just the way that we played it, the way we wrote songs. Everything was super fast or super heavy. That was our key, really.
The media could not figure out to deal with that. So they said like, oh, it's a new wave of British heavy metal band, which I kind of funny because every time there's something happening like the grunge, they have to put a name on it to justify
They
it.
do,
But
yeah.
like every band that was part of it has their own song, and I think that's what may be missing those days, because a lot of bands try to recreate what they enjoy or the band they love, and sometimes the scene sound in a direction, but you guys were all different beasts, and that's what I love. If you take Def Leppard, for example, that was so different than what you were doing, and like Maiden, but you all get along together and create, a huge wave of fans that love every band from that era.
Yeah, I think it's true. There was a big there's a lot of bands all doing the same thing. Trying to get a record deal, trying to write our own songs, and trying to do what our sort of the people that we loved were doing. Like Zeppelin and Sabbath and all those bands. We wanted to be the new Sabbath and Zeppelin. So and Leopard and Maiden and Motorhead and Saxon and a lot of bands that didn't really make it, but there was a lot of bands around at that time. So yeah, it was a great melting pot of inspiration back then.
Because punk was the thing before you guys, but it's funny because you didn't have the punk style or mentality, but in a way it was really punk to say to those radio, okay, we're gonna go the opposite direction, we're gonna do long songs, fast songs, everything that you will never play on the radio. And I think that's why it the spot, that's what people need, something different, and that's what you did. I mean, if you take Raven, Venom, or I mean, Diamond Head, they didn't write songs to be played on radio. Even Saxon,
No, we didn't write songs to be played on the radio. I mean, actually, the way it worked out, they did get played on the radio. That's what made the difference, I think. That we had songs that we didn't think people would play on the radio, and then they did play it on the radio. So everything went a little bit mainstream. You've got like, Saxon, Wheels of Steel. You've got Judas Priest, Breaking the Law. You've got Motorhead. Ace of Spades. I mean, 1980 was a fantastic time on through the night. Def Leppard. You had White Snake, first album, coming out. So yeah, it was a great time, great melting pot. Michael Schenker, UFO. You know, they all had a big resurgence in the 80s, and obviously we were starting in the 80s, so it was a good movement back then.
yeah, and I think that band were afraid of trying, and that's what missing now. A lot of band don't try; they just wanna, be recognized very quick, and things are so fast. But back in the days, you really work your song, and you arrive with something that you want it to be, that will still matters, 30, 40 years later. And I think that's why it's still accurate today to have new Saxon music.
Yeah, I think, we're always trying to write the perfect song and the perfect album. And, this album, it's a special album. It sounds fantastic. The songs are great. We always have Brian with us now from Damnation, which gives the band the dynamic, I suppose. So, yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to writing the next album, really. We're we're already uh, we're already thinking about what we're going to do on the next album. So, but this year we'll be concentrating on the new album, Hellfire Damnation. Playing all the live shows, and we're going to be touring all year. So, I think we're doing UK, Europe, starting in March. Then we in America. Uh, in sort of April. We do about 6, 7 weeks. Then we go back to Europe, do more shows. We usually at dance festivals, and then we're looking at maybe coming back, maybe doing a few more shows in America. Maybe something up in Canada. I know you're from Quebec. So yeah, that's the plan really to try and cover the whole of the world really. You know, as much as we can.
It would be rad. Quebec, they say that the fortress of metal. We love metal and we love Saxon. There's tons and tons of fans that have been waiting. And, you never kind of forget us. You always been to Canada through tours. I know it's tough and it's such long
Well,
distance ride.
it's not. It's not. I mean, it's not far from upstate New York to Canada. It's just we need to have the venue supply. A promoter needs to say, yeah, I'm going to book Saxon. I'm going to book Saxon on such and such a date, and are they available? So we really need people to give us the shows, if you know what I mean. We can't just get a loud hailer and stand at the border shouting. We need some shows in Canada. We need some shows
Hookers,
in
you
Canada.
heard him. You heard him. We
Yeah,
will, and
yeah,
I will write to them and make everything possible because I have the chance to hear new songs and it's crazy because I mean Carpe Diem was such a killer records when you release it. I think it was 2022. That
yeah.
album was a hell of a beast. So I said to myself, it's gonna be tough for them to make it follow, but you nail it. You did it, and it's beautiful to see all those bands after all those years that still release their best records and there's a lot of bands that have huge success and they kind of and I don't want pro name because I'm not saying that in a negative way, but there's a lot of band that got lost in their success and struggle releasing something decent and they try and try and there's band that people say, oh, Saxon didn't have the success that they should have. They have a beautiful success and the thing is, you're not corrupt by all those money and those star living and everything. So I think that's
No,
why
we don't.
you
We don't. We don't. We don't have penthouses in LA, and we don't have, a fleet of supercars in the garage. We're a working class band, and whatever money we make gets piled back into the band. That's how it works. So that's what we love to do. So that's what we do.
And I think that's why it's still accurate. I mean, like when you look Testament, they released one of their creators' records and Overkill did too. So it's cool to see all those bands getting the recognition and the success they have with the new generation that discover them and say, man, that's crazy. And when they look at it, it's like a TV show that you heard of, but you didn't watch. And you're like, oh, there's like 20 seasons. There's a lot of record to listen and they go for it.
Yeah, definitely. You've got 24 records. If you buy the new Saxon album, if it's your first Saxon album, you've got to go back through the catalogue. You know what I mean? And the thing is, these days you can just stream them, can't you? So it's not as if you have to buy every album on vinyl, which would cost a fortune. You can listen to all our music. We're on YouTube all over the place. So it's very easy these days to become a fan of a band because it's all there, isn't it?
It's true, and I think with the pandemic, people start working at home and listen way more music. So I think that a lot of maybe the younger generation discover a lot of band through that time, and a lot of people that knew the band when listen maybe to records that didn't have time to listen to, and like you said, it brings way more fans.
Yeah, definitely. Also, we have a lot of younger fans coming. It's first concert they've ever been to. So they were like, I don't know, they were like 12 or something before the pandemic, and like 3 4 years later they come to shows. They maybe come with their older parents, or maybe come with their brother and sister who's older, or their friends who are older. So somebody who's 14 in the UK, Europe, can get into a show if they're with somebody that's older. So we've got a lot of people coming in and saying, "Hey, it's our first metal show." In fact, it's our first show. So it's nice to have young people coming in and looking at Saxon as their uh, first like adventure into live music.
Yeah, it's so cool, and I think that I'm sure when you started up, you never thought about that, but it's kind of the a family activity now, and I do like I bring my kids. My daughter is 14 now, and the twins are 15s. We have a younger one, so we bring everybody at the show, and they love it, and it's I think it's a beautiful thing, and it showed that it was wrong to say that metal was that negative thing, because the artwork, it's about it doesn't prove to the media, it proved they were wrong. Like, it's not negative, it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that I mean, you can listen to as many albums as you like, but seeing those songs being played live is totally different. Especially with Saxon, because we don't use any sort of we don't use any software backup. Everything you see is basically live. We have a few noises here and there that the bass player plays on his bass pedal, but generally, we don't use click tracks or anything like that. So it's great for people to experience live music. Definitely is.
Yeah, and that's another thing. And thank you for doing that, because, man, like it doesn't have to be perfect, live. Mistakes are part of the show. And, those band that, when I hear band like, just lip sync, I'm like, oh, people can buy a ticket, $150 or $200, seeing people just faking it. Like, I mean, like metal is that beautiful beast that not perfect, but it's real.
Yeah, I think it's good if I think if songs are played a little faster each night, and the songs are slightly different. They're faster, they're slower, or there's more power, or the venue's bigger. I don't think you have to go for the perfect sound every night. But this is just my opinion. I mean, I've been to see bands where they're using a lot of backing vocals and different things. It does sound great. I do. I don't think it's wrong. I just think for us though to play live, we play live. That's it. You know.
Yeah, and that when you spend all your life trying to be good in your instrument, I think that's the good decision.
Yeah, definitely. And the guitarists play different some nights, do a different solo. We might play songs. You see, the thing is, we might play songs that are not on the set list. That if an audience start chanting at the moment, a lot of people are chanting "Ride Like the Wind," yeah, because it was a cover song we did, and people are a little bit negative back in the day with it, saying, "Oh, it's Christopher Cross and that." But, we just love the song, and we did a version of it. But now it's become a bit of a beast, that song. So it's not in the set list. But if people chant it, then we'll play it. And you can't do that if you're running on software.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's a proof again, with time, those Jones, like you said, you never play them exactly like on the record. So it proved that it's a living thing, that music grow with you, and it changed, the songs evolve.
Yeah, I think when you first start playing in a band, you're just playing a band, and those three, four, five, six people make a sound together, and the chemistry of the musicians works together, and that's what makes a great band, and especially if that band can write some music together, then that's the whole chemistry and the whole excitement of being in music, and that's why, AI, the technology these days, it could well spoil that really, but it won't spoil us. We'll still be playing live, and when we come on tour, and I'm sure a lot of people will come down to see us from the countries in the cities in Canada and nearer to the States. So yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to touring with the new album. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and the songs, I always said, Saxon, when you listen to the records, it's gonna be more powerful live because I think you wrote those songs and the idea of when we play live, how the crowd will react to them. And it's always like I can't wait to hear those songs and oh, they play that. I was like that to every song on the record because it's a really masterpiece. I love every song on the record. It's powerful, it's Saxon, it's different than the last records, but it's still, what we love about the band. And kind of every era of Saxon is represented to the records, I felt.
Yeah, there's a lot of 80s influences in there, definitely early 80s there. But it's great too. I mean, the boys did a great job, coming up with the guitar riffs again this time, and then it's my job to take those things and do the lyrics and do the melodies and work together with them, arranging to make the songs great, and that's what we do. Before we make the album, we rehearse everything live before we start recording, so we want to know if everything works live, and we fine tune it. So I think most of our albums we've always got one foot in live, and the rest of our bodies in the studio, if you know what I mean. So it's like, for instance, the track Hellfire Damnation. We've played that live, so we know that's going to sound great live already. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. And you listen to the fans. I think the fans have always been so important in Saxon. And I think that they all felt part of the family, but you listen to them. When I see the set list, I'm like, oh shit, they played that song on that tour. And, those
Yeah, well,
forgotten songs.
we won't make a sit. I mean, I won't make a decision on the set list until the album's been out a while and we'll see what people's favorite songs are, and then we'll throw in a few curveballs as well, just to make it interesting. So, and like I say, if people get excited about a particular song and it's not on the set list, then we'll try and play it live. And that's the whole thing with Saxon. Uh, each show is different. They're totally unique. Every time we play, it's totally unique. So yeah, that's what we like. We like that. We like the buzz of it being exciting and unpredictable. I think music should be a little bit unpredictable, and it's not supposed to be comfortable.
You're right. You're right. I follow a lot
You
of
know,
band, and there's band that it's always kind of the same set list with the new song ad. It's a choice. It's a choice. I kind of respect that for them if it's their thing. But that's what I love about Saxon and some band
yeah,
that
we always try and play the big hits. Like Denim and Leather, Princess of the Night, Wheels of Steel. But we always do the deep cut tracks as well, of Sacrifice and some of the earlier albums. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, when we come to States, I know we're not coming to Canada on this tour, but we're headlining, aren't we? It's a co-headline tour, so we get to play an hour and a half. So we've got plenty of time to put in different songs and deep cut. We'll be doing about 6 songs off the new album anyway. All the songs off the new album sound great live, so it's going to be up to the fans really which new songs we play.
so people you heard that go on the internet and mention what you love about which song you want to hear live from the new album. You're
Yeah,
right.
that'd be great.
Like I said, like and is it more hard with time to write new stuff, or is get more easy because you have the experience? It's still a huge challenge.
No, I don't think it's ever easy to write a great song or a great album. I think you're just waiting for inspiration to come through. And you have to rely on the other guys in the band, you know. We have to rely on everybody to get the chemistry and to come up with the ideas. So, you know, it's pretty much we have to wait really until the inspiration comes. It's like writing a book for us or writing poetry. You know, when all the planets are in alignment, then that's the time that things start to happen. So you can be writing for like 2 weeks and have something, and then you know you can write for 1 week and write 5 songs. You know that's how it goes. Yeah, you're just waiting for that moment, that special moment when everything comes together.
Yeah, because you don't have to force it. I think that if you force it, that's when you're disappointed. When you listen it back a couple of years later, it's I don't surf, but I think it's like catching a wave when you surf. There's no perfect wave, but you don't have to force that. It's impossible.
No, you're always waiting for the perfect wave. That's the thing, you know. So yeah, it never comes. So that's what I'm saying. You're always wanting to write the perfect song, but you never get there, you know, because once you've written it, you're always going to think I can write another one better. So we're very motivated songwriters. So we're always thinking about, you know, I'm always asking the boys, you got any guitarists? You know, you got, you got any guitarists? And they'll play me something. I'll go, yeah, I like that. So we'll take that, you know, further and make a song out of it. So we're always constantly thinking about new songs, constantly.
It's a strong lineup. I can't wait to, of course, see you live. What's the best way if people want to buy merch and buy the records? What's the best way to directly encourage the band?
Well, I think that there's a shop on Saxon. If they put in Saxon band, all our social media platforms come up. You know, sort of Facebook, our website, and Instagram. So you can buy directly from us, or you can buy stuff on Amazon, or you can go see if your local record store's got it. You know, so or you can stream it. I mean, you can do anything really to get our stuff. Just put in Saxon band, you know, and we'll come up there. We'll pop up, and we'll be there. You know, so that's the best way to do it. Merchandising. There's a merch shop connected to our website as well. So you know, everything's there. I mean, obviously, we'll be selling merch on tour. So if anybody does get down from Canada, then you know we'll be happy to see them.
Course, buy tickets, check the dates, go on their Facebook website, and catch them live. And man, thank you so much, Beef. It's such an honor. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm a huge Saxon fan since day one. I was born in '81. I discovered you guys at the end of the '80s with Iron Maiden and Def Leppard and Venom. And you know, you've been my soundtrack for so many years. So we can't wait to see you in Quebec, and man, have fun with the new songs and you know, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we love coming up to Canada. You know, I can speak a bit of French, so I'm okay. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, everything's good. I mean, you know, we are looking at coming back definitely. So if anybody's disappointed and there's no dates get added, because we are still adding dates to the American tour. So you know, just keep your fingers crossed because we just need some promoters up there, you know, to give us 3 or 4 shows. You know, Quebec, Toronto, Montreal, and we're there. Uh, you know, we usually do Vancouver and that when we do the California. You know, we do the West Coast. We usually do the other side of Canada. But yeah, we're on the East Coast quite a lot on this tour, so I can't see a problem nipping up into Canada. Definitely.
You will, bookers, write them. We're gonna put the email available, of course, on our Facebook group, and yeah, catch
Yeah.
them live. And I'm gonna wait. And if you're not coming to Quebec, I'm coming your way, Beef.
Yeah, get on the plane, get on the bus, come down and see us.
Grab the records. If you don't have money, of course, it's available on every music platform. Beef, you're amazing. Thank you for your time and generosity. I had such a pleasure. We're going to do a huge special, of course, on our radio show. with SAXON.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah, I'm glad you like the album, and I hope all the metalheads up there love the album as well. So yeah, can't wait to come and play it for you live.
Definitely a masterpiece. People gonna love it. Beef, thank you so much. Have a good day, my friend.
Yeah, you too. See you later.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Au revoir. Au revoir.